It's Alabama. It's Wisconsin. It's in Camp Randall on Fox, as Big Noon always is. This is an interesting game. We'll start with breaking down the home team, as we always do. If you're Wisconsin, Luke Fickell kind of said this in his press conference to start the week. He's like, listen, like Alabama is the standard in college football. They have been for the last 20 years. If we want to see where we are as a football team, if we want to see how far we've come since me and my staff have gotten here, we need to figure out where we stand against the standard. Now, I understand Nick Saban is no longer the head coach in Tuscaloosa, but like if you're Wisconsin, man, cut it loose. Like if this is that standard, leave nothing up to question as to, you know, how much you were able to cut it loose against Alabama, if that makes sense. Like if I'm Wisconsin, I lay my head on the pillow at night, regardless of the final score, knowing that, hey, we emptied the clip. Schematically, effort-wise, goes without saying, but like I'm very curious to see how Wisconsin approaches this game because I think they'll come out swinging to some respect. Now, for Alabama, struggled for 3-ish quarters against USF. If you just looked at the box score, you're like, oh, Alabama rolled. Good for them. Yeah, that's true. The final score indicated that, but it was like a 1-point game in the fourth quarter. Okay, so there was some things to clean up there. Obviously, the first game against Western Kentucky, they absolutely, got after it. But even with that being said, I don't think we've seen the full arsenal from this Kalen DeBoer team, especially not offensively. So I'm excited to see how much they loosen it up and how much they get after it against Wisconsin, schematically, that is. Make sure you're subscribed right here to the On3 YouTube channel. We got game predictions like this one. We got analysis during the week. We got analysis after the fact, instant reaction. So make sure you're subscribed. Also, this prediction video is brought to you by our friends over at Prize Picks. Prize Picks is daily fantasy, helping us squeeze the juice out of this college football season. You pick 2 or more player projections or a square. You pick the more or less on those projections. You're off to the races with the lineup there. So use code HARDCOUNT. $5 lineup will get you $50 in promo funds. Okay, so you want to tail us, awesome. You want to fade us, even better. Again, code HARDCOUNT at prizepicks.com. $5 in promo funds, or in lineups, will get you $50 in promo funds. Back to the prediction. Now, for Wisconsin, here's what they're going to try to do. They are kind of like the new iOS update of Wisconsin football that you've come to know. And what I mean by that is, like, you think about Wisconsin, you think of fullbacks, you think of neck rules, you think of multiple tight ends in the game, and they still have that kind of edge to them physically. They still want to run the football. I believe as of right now in the season, it's still early, so the numbers are going to even themselves out, but like 55% run team. Ches Malusi is the lead back for them. He's a dog. So it feels familiar in that sense. They want to run the football, be physical, but in a much more, I think, literal sense, they're a team now with Phil Longo running the show as the OC. Like, what do we know about Phil Longo? Dude wants to spin the rock. Tyler Van Dyke, the reason he transferred to Wisconsin from Miami, the reason why that was his destination is because of the air raid offense. So I think there's defensively still that like same we're going to kick your face in kind of attitude on defense. Offense a little more open. They're averaging 36 passes a game. A lot of them come underneath if you watch Wisconsin. Now, again, some of that could be the fact that you're playing Western Michigan and South Dakota early on, but it is what it is. Very curious to see how they attack Alabama in terms of taking shots downfield. Because what we just said a second ago, if you're playing the best, if you're playing what you consider to be the standard in college football, Luke Fickell's words, not mine, I don't think you just kind of tippy-toe into the lion's den. Now, for Alabama, they're a lot like NASA. What I mean by that is they really enjoy getting after it in space, okay, both defensively and offensively. Offensively, they want to spread you out. They want to find their matchups that they have isolated. If it's Ryan Williams, awesome. Jeremy Bernard, awesome. We win one-on-one. Jalen Milroe, give us a good football. We're off to the races. It's not so much Josh Heupel-esque, but it is kind of that same concept, that those same rules of if you win your matchup, you're getting the football, we're probably scoring. Now, the caveat with that, though, within this offense, like I said, they want to spread you out. But when they spread you out, what does that mean? That box and how you play the run, you got to kind of pick and choose what you want to do there. So when they spread you out, a lot of times you'll get a light box, and a light box with Jalen Milroe and with that backfield, like, it's game, set, match. Now, what they had on the offensive line last week, I don't believe is the version of the offensive line they'll have this week. I think they'll be a little bit more healthy, remains to be seen. But if they're healthy on the offensive line, they're going to knife through that defense. It's going to be a good time. So on defense now, what I said about them playing in space, they want to see ball, get ball. right? Like they want to allow their players, especially on the second and third level, to just be instinctual. Like that is the Kane Walmack approach here. Front seven, get after it. Defense, keep it in front of you in the secondary. Matchup, like let's go. Let's be just, swarming to the football. Okay, so that's what they want to do. Now, I think one of the keys to this game, with the spread being at 15.5, it doesn't take a rocket scientist or any, doesn't take any courage to pick Alabama to win the game outright. But if Wisconsin is going to win this football game, like I said, I think they have to find a way to challenge vertically and be able to take some pressure off of their offensive line and get some better pictures running the football. But, if we're going to trust what Wisconsin is saying they are to this point in the year, going to throw the ball a lot, again, 36 times a game, a lot of that coming underneath, kind of averaging 5 yards a pass. I think to win this game, they have to, one, avoid disaster, because anytime you throw the intermediate game and you're playing an instinctual defense in Alabama, they will try and jump some of those underneath routes. Tell you what, it just takes one. Throw one bad ball underneath, pick six, going back the other way, and we're in trouble. But if Alabama's going to keep a soft coverage and kind of just try and avoid from having that big play happen, TVD, take what the defense gives you. Let's get ourselves in second and manageable, third manageable, kind of clear up that picture. If that's the way this goes, that could be advantage Wisconsin. I think also if you're going to win this game, like it goes without saying, you have to be able to get a push up front. Have to. I mentioned Ches Malusi. He has to have a game. And it can't be a lot of we're going side to side and trying to find a way to make one cut and get upfield. It's like, no, we got to be north and south, right? There is no dancing around with how athletic this defense is of Alabama. So he has to have a game. I think if you're Wisconsin, the thing in your mind is you want to get this thing to the fourth quarter, have jump around playing, and you're like, okay, now we go. Like you hold on tight for dear life. Even if you're not up, get to the fourth quarter, be within a score. And once you hear the bum, 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 like that, okay, you made it. Now you have a chance in this game. But to beat Alabama, I think ultimately you have to find a way to get after Jalen Milroe. And we said it last week, on Sunday, the offensive line has some issues. However, unfortunately for Wisconsin, I think you'll see a different version of that offensive line. Even if you try to get after Jalen Milroe, even if you flush him out of the pocket, you have to find a way to win those extended plays. Like when he's out there, I say Pirates of the Caribbean because that's exactly what it is. Whenever he's out there ad-libbing and you're out there in space against Jalen Milroe, typically that's a tough battle to win. That's a big reason why the spread is what it is. So I think Alabama with the offensive line being healthy changes the game. I think that Wisconsin ultimately will not be able to win a matchup game, that Alabama's going to make it overall in this game. I don't think Wisconsin can keep pace. Like, I love Tyler Van Dyke. I love Phil Longo. Y'all know I love Luke Fickell. I've been a massive fan of the Badgers since Luke Fickell got there. But even with that being said, I do not believe that Wisconsin will be able to play with a lead in this game. And I think as soon as they get down 10, it's going to be very, very difficult to scratch and claw and find a way. So we got Alabama winning. As of right now, you know what? Yeah, I'll say it. I got Alabama winning. I got Alabama covering, and feel pretty good about rolling that way. Hey, y'all. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also, be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.